What's up, guys? It's Jeff. Hope you all are doing well. Today we have the new iPhone SE in the studio, and finally, Apple has a solid solution for you if you either want to stay in the Apple ecosystem and upgrade your device, or if you want to switch over from Android without breaking the bank. So this is the new iPhone SE, Apple's 2020 iPhone SE, and as we've seen in the past, Apple really hasn't been in the mood to create budget smartphones because the last SE that we saw was way back in 2016. But now with their new iPhone SE, not only is it budget, coming in at just $399, it's actually really fast and has a ton of features that you would typically see on a flagship device. Now you're probably thinking, Jeff, Apple doesn't do that. They just don't make cheap and fast phones. Well, here's the specs. The 2020 SE comes with the new A13 Bionic chip. Yes, that one, the same one that we saw on the iPhone 11 Pro Max just a few months ago. So that's super awesome. We also see 3 gigabytes of RAM on board and a rather small 1800 milliamp hour battery. But if you can remember, it's the same size as the iPhone 8 when that device was released. But we'll get into battery life just a little bit later. Now, past that, we still have Touch ID as we saw on the iPhone 8. So unfortunately, no Face ID, but that was to be expected to keep costs low. And also, Touch ID is still solid security here in 2020. So definitely no complaints with Touch ID. In fact, there are a lot of people out there that actually really prefer Touch ID over Face ID. So if you were one of those people, you'll feel right at home here with the new SE. The one thing that I do miss is tap to wake, but if you are on a device that has that feature now, you probably won't be looking to upgrade to the iPhone SE. Now, past that, you have a 4.7-inch Retina HD display, which according to many teardown channels out there, has confirmed is the exact same screen as the iPhone 8. Honestly, I've never really had any problems with the iPhone 8 display, but since we saw a better display on the iPhone XR, I was expecting that the same display used on the XR would be on the SE. Still, with an LCD display, even from way back then, the display is really good at displaying accurate colors, contrast, and overall quality is also very apparent. I'd say that the major drawback with the SE is that when you are in direct sunlight, it's very hard to see the screen because it just cannot get bright enough. But honestly, the bottom line here, since we are seeing a recycled iPhone 8 screen, I'm not going to commend Apple for working very hard on that feature, but I will say that the iPhone 8 screens were pretty good when they were released and still hold up even going into 2020. Now, one hardware feature that I swore up and down Apple would not be including on a budget phone is wireless charging, but lo and behold, the iPhone SE now has wireless charging, which is totally unexpected, but a feature that is really nice to have in 2020 because almost every smartphone maker includes that feature on their flagship devices. Past that, you have fast charging capabilities, so in a pinch, you can get the SE up to 50% charge in just 30 minutes with an 18-watt power adapter. Now, speaking of charging, as far as battery life goes, it looks like Apple is saying that you should see about the same performance on battery life as the iPhone 8. Given the sizes of the iPhone 8 and the SE batteries are about the same, that would be logical, but with the new A13 Bionic chip being a lot more efficient, I do expect better performance in the near future via software updates. Now, right now, in my experience, the battery life is about the same, maybe a little bit better on the SE, but I'd say that with the option to expand on the A13 Bionic chip capabilities, I do expect the performance category to only get better over time with CPU, GPU, and of course, battery performance as well. Now let's move on to that camera on the backside. It's a single 12 megapixel camera, so nothing too crazy, but the performance is similar to that of the iPhone X. The sensor used in the SE is actually the same one as the iPhone 8, but the better performance comes from the new A13 Bionic chip inside, which handles the processing of photos and the details generated by AI. Now, onto the results, and they're first off way better than any other photos out of a phone at this price range. And if I were to compare them to a phone, I think it would be the iPhone 10. But to show you guys what I'm talking about, here's a picture comparison between the iPhone 11 Pro Max and the iPhone SE. At first glance, unless you really peek into the details, you honestly can't even tell which one is which. But if you do get into the finer details, especially zooming in, you can see quite a bit of drop off on the iPhone SE. But still, at only $399, it's a camera that is very well worth the money. So yeah, traditionally Apple has always had excellent performance when it comes to their rear cameras, and luckily even here with their budget smartphone, you are still getting that top tier performance, so that's a huge plus for the iPhone SE. As far as video capabilities, you still have the same video recording features as the iPhone 11 Pro Max, so 4K 60 at the highest quality, and then of course slow motion features as well, which match what you can do on the iPhone 11 Pro Max. Now, on the flip side, as far as the front or selfie cam, it's what I expected from a budget phone, nothing extraordinary, but it still will take good quality selfies, and you can still get portrait selfies as well, even though there's no Face ID hardware on this device. The portrait blurring is done through AI, so expect this feature to get a little bit better in the near future via software updates. Okay, let's move on to the UI experience. It's way better than the iPhone 8 simply because we have that new A13 Bionic chip on board. Everything is very smooth, very fast, and the efficiency is a lot higher. So you should, in the near future, see improved battery life over the iPhone 8 experience. Of course, if you are coming from anything older than an iPhone 8, you'll probably be seeing even better CPU performance and battery performance as well. What's really cool is coming from the iPhone 11 Pro Max, I'm not really noticing any huge difference in the UI experience as the features and operations are generally the same on both devices. The two major differences I can see is the screen is a little bit different because the Touch ID sensor is on the bottom of the SE, and overall the size is obviously different, but that was totally to be expected. As for the overall smoothness and operation, honestly, everything feels the same, and that's definitely a huge plus given the SE is a third of the price of the iPhone 11 Pro Max. So as you can see here, the specs of the new iPhone SE are actually pretty impressive. But why did Apple make this phone? Well, one of the major reasons was to get users with older devices out there to upgrade their device and get continued software support in the near future. So right now, the iPhone SE is running iOS 13, but in the future, it will be able to handle many more versions of iOS, likely the same amount as the iPhone 11 Pro Max, given they have the same A13 Bionic chip. So instead of using almost all recycled hardware as they've done in the past with the iPhone SE, Apple instead upgraded the crucial pieces inside that will make sure that you can use this phone for a little while longer before thinking about an upgrade or a replacement. Hardware such as the camera, battery size, and Touch ID sensor I think will age quite well, and overall I could see the iPhone SE lasting like a solid 4 to 5 years of good use before you even think about getting a replacement or upgrading to a different device. Another reason Apple added this budget lineup was to obviously corner another part of the market. Traditionally, it's been very expensive to get into the iPhone ecosystem, let alone all of the Apple ecosystem. But now, with this new budget option, you can actually get an iPhone SE, an Apple Watch, and AirPods all for the same price as the iPhone 11 Pro Max, which is crazy when you're thinking about Apple's history with higher tier pricing. So, who is the 2020 iPhone SE for? Well, if you have an older phone that might be on the chopping block for the upcoming iOS 14 software, like the iPhone 6s or older devices, or maybe you want to get a taste of the performance of Apple's latest flagships, but don't necessarily want the cost associated with that, this device is definitely for you. You are getting Apple's latest A13 Bionic chip, a solid display, and a reliable camera experience for just $399. On top of that, you have great battery life, you get several years of software update support, and did I mention it's $399? Apple's original iPhone was $499 way back in 2008, so with natural inflation and the entire smartphone market only getting more expensive, that's an absolute steal. There are also features that we didn't even go over, like Wi-Fi 6, dual SIM technology, and a ton of other things that really increase the overall value of the iPhone SE for the future. So if you're sitting at home right now and you desperately need a new smartphone, but are on a budget, get the 2020 iPhone SE. If you're coming down from an older phone and you want to upgrade, it is a good deal because you're getting boosted performance and you won't notice the lack of flagship features like the triple camera and the OLED screens because you don't even have them on your current device. Also, as I said before, if you were coming from Android and you want to get a new iPhone SE, an Apple Watch, and a pair of AirPods, that would all still be cheaper than getting one of Apple's flagship devices, and you'd be more invested into the Apple ecosystem. So yeah, in a way, this is what we've all been asking for from Apple. We've always been complaining about their premium pricing from their flagships, but finally, Apple has made a device that is way more budget friendly and without a lot of the compromises that other phone makers have to make when trying to fit their devices into this price range. So I'd say right now is the time to jump on this product category from Apple because we might not be seeing a refresh of the iPhone SE for a very long time. Remember, the last SE was released in 2016, like 4 years ago. So guys, that's the 2020 iPhone SE. Sound off in the comment section down below what your thoughts are. Is this worth the $399 price tag, or is there something better out there? Let me know. I'd love to get the conversation started in the comment section. Also, before you go, I am giving this new iPhone SE away to one of you guys. I bought two, not only because product red purchases go towards COVID-19 relief, but also to give away to one of you guys who might be stuck at home and really need a new phone. So to enter into the giveaway, get subscribed, sound off in the comment section what you like about the new iPhone SE, and I'll pick a winner once we get to over 3,000 likes on the video. Anyways, guys, if you liked today's video, you know what to do. And if you want to see more content in the near future, make sure to get subscribed and hit that notification bell button so you get updates on when that content is released. Also, check out the channel memberships by clicking that join button down below and see the perks of being a channel member. So thank you all for watching, and hopefully I'll be seeing you guys soon. But until then, I hope you all have an awesome day.